anthems completed, Italian, American and British. And now Boza Edwards prepares to make the second defense of the title. His career has taken a joyous turn since August 9 last year, when in Atlantic City in the United States, he was pulled out of a non-title fight with the man who was then the WBC junior lightweight champion, Alexis Arguello, after 8 rounds. He'd never been down, but he was beginning to get hurt, and Mickey Duff pulled him out. Well, we've seen Arguello in Britain since then. We know that he took Jim Watt's WBC lightweight title just a few weeks ago, and now Boza Edwards holds the title that Arguello used to hold. An American referee tonight, well known to us, Arthur McCanty, and 3 judges sitting outside the ring who will do the scoring. The referee doesn't score under WBC rules. Navarrete, who speaks very little English indeed, being presented with a garland before the fight gets underway. That's Sad Sam Ichinose there, that extraordinary, mournful face, one of the most famous managers in the world, Sad Sam Ichinose. And now Boza Edwards gets his garland, his medal. So, Italian ceremonial complete. They strip off and prepare for the fight. So tonight's fight over 15 rounds here in the open air in Viareggio, this resort on the Mediterranean, just 20 miles north of Pisa. Rolando Navarrete, the Filipino who's now based in Hawaii, liberally tattooed, making his second attempt to win this title, having already fought Alexis Arguello for it, the former champion, in Puerto Rico in April last year, and was stopped in 4 rounds then, getting both his eyes cut, the right one much worse than the left. And you'll see when they come out that Navarrete will be an inch or 2 shorter than the champion. Cornelius Boza Edwards, who's fighting as much to retain the title, also as to establish himself in his adopted country of Britain. Colourful ring, colourful scene, a warm night, and an exciting championship, we hope, in prospect. 15 rounds for the World Boxing Council's Junior Lightweight Championship. That's 9 stone 4. Boza Edwards weighs 9'3 1/4, and Navarrete is just half a pound heavier. And Arthur McCanty, the American referee, calling him to the centre for the final instructions. Boza Edwards, Britain's only world boxing champion at the moment, about to defend the title again. 2 southpaws facing each other. Boza Edwards beaten just twice as a pro. And Navarrete, the Filipino, comes with the reputation of being durable, with a strong right hand, and a particularly good body puncher. The original opponent, Rafael Limon, is also a southpaw. So Boza Edwards, who'd been training to fight another southpaw, didn't have to change training tactics. Quick punch over the top from Navarrete. Seemed to take Boza Edwards by surprise. And again. Corny is, well, he's a very fine boxer. He's a neat, nimble mover. But he can get drawn into hard battles, as his world title fights have proved. And Navarrete is beginning to attack hard with the right hand. Beautiful left hand from Boza Edwards. He's been superbly confident and relaxed in training, the champion. And he looks very, very sharp and fit. Snapping right-hand leads from the champion. We should be looking on Navarrete's face to see if there's any further trouble. He's got Boza Edwards in a bit of trouble with some slashing hooks. That was a good attack. Well, enough seen already to show us that Navarrete is a dangerous challenger. And Edwards is going to have to pull out his best boxing here. That was a good opening round by the challenger, no doubt about that. And that little attack there that he set up towards the end of the round will almost certainly have won him that round on the judges' cards, I would think. 24 years old, North American champion, having won that title earlier this year, beating Johnny Sato in May. He's had 45 fights, 34 wins, 4 draws and 7 defeats. He's been stopped 3 times, and he's won 15 of his fights. That's just under half of his wins inside the distance. Boza Edwards with his manager Mickey Duff imploring him to get going. And Navarrete's corner must be well pleased with the way he started. He produced 1 or 2 very dangerous looking hooks in that opening round that really did spell trouble for Boza Edwards, who was a little slow to get going. McCanty getting the second out, ready for the second round. Navarrete is certainly 2 inches shorter, at least, and correspondingly shorter in reach. But he found no trouble getting his punches into the head and the body of the champion in that first round. Boza Edwards produced tremendous form to win this title against Rafael Limon early this year, and then made a very, very successful defense of it against a dangerous fighter, Bobby Chacon. And this man, too, is extremely dangerous. And the champion is getting caught too often. Won't need anybody to tell him that. If he lets this man make too good a start and get too confident, he might have trouble winning the rounds back later on. Boza Edwards will be hoping to see some signs of damage on the face of Navarrete, who's known to cut. And Arguello cut him over both eyes 18 months ago. Boza was just beginning to take a little grip on this. getting in first with his punches now. Still taking too many of these hooks to the head for comfort. This is likely to be a very tough fight for both men. Well, that was a better round, the second round for Boza Edwards, although at times he was still allowing this man to get at him with quick hooks to the head. And he looked just, again, Boza Edwards, the reactions looked to be slightly slow. He was taking rather too many punches and allowing the man to take the initiative away from him from time to time. But he set up one or two good attacks himself, and occasionally Navarrete looked a bit puzzled by the speed the punches were coming at him. But here's a tough little fighter. He's been around a bit, 45 fights behind him. Turned pro in 1973, only 3 days after his 16th birthday. Turned pro in the Philippines and then moved to Hawaii in 1979 and has been there since. Round 3 coming up. Boza Edwards takes the name of Edwards from the man who brought him out of Uganda, taught him to box in Kampala in Uganda, then brought him to England when Idi Amin took over in Uganda. And Boza Edwards added the man's name in gratitude, and Jack Edwards, that ex-tea planter from Uganda, is here at the ringside watching his protege tonight. These are sharp exchanges. One low one there from Navarrete. Boza Edwards not leading off too much. Again, slips under that double-handed attack from Navarrete. And this little Filipino is giving the champion too much trouble. He's so quick with that right-left combination. Boza Edwards simply can't move away from them. In fact, his footwork is not all that lively tonight. Boza Edwards. He went right down to the knees of the challenger. And Navarrete suddenly seems to have wilted under that. He caught him with one cracking hook, and you could see it almost unhinging his knees. And Navarrete now is in real trouble on the ropes in this, the third round. And he comes off the ropes and he clings and takes a breather. And that one punch has changed the whole look of the thing. And Boza Edwards clearly feels now that this might be the moment to try and finish it all. But he's only got about 20 seconds left in this round. And Boza Edwards is badly cut. He's come out of that with a terrible cut over his left eye. So the champion now has trouble. This thing is going from one way to the other. And the champion now has got real problems. That is an awful cut over the left eye. It's the worst possible place, and it's bleeding very badly. Time now may be short for Boza Edwards. And that really is the most appalling cut he's got over the left eye. And he caught that in the last 15 seconds of that round, having early, and the other man's cut as well now. As they part, we can see that Navarrete is cut over the right eye, and Boza Edwards is cut over the left eye.
Did he stop the clock? Did he stop the clock at any time?
So that both men are cut, and McCanty is explaining something, some action of his, to the American TV team here. They're querying something about the timing of that round. So what drama we've had? We've had that one tremendous hooking punch from Boza Edwards about a minute from the end of that round when he sent a shiver right down the legs of Navarrete. And the Filipino looked as though he might even go down. And now both men are cut. Navarrete over the right eye, Boza Edwards over the left as they come up for the fourth round. And of the two cuts, I would have thought that Boza Edwards looks rather the worst. Now there's no telling what will happen in this fight. They've stopped the bleeding on both men. Both these men now looking for just the one big punch that will get them out of trouble. Because time may be short for both of them. Boza Edwards is bleeding again. And so is the challenger, but not quite as badly. And Boza Edwards must be feeling that he might have not much time left to do this in. And he's bleeding quite badly again, the champion. McCanty's looking at the cut. Navarrete is cut too. The blood runs down the side of his face. Actually, although the cut is bleeding badly on Boza Edwards' face, the blood, in fact, is running down the side of his face. He's hurt by a left hook. What a fight this is. It swings first one way, then the other. And the champion is really hurt. Oh, he's got him! He's threatened to do it. And he's put the champion on the floor. And George Francis is pushing his hand through the rope, telling him to take the longest possible count he can. But he's got up at 5, I think. And McCanty counted to 8. Compulsory 8 count. What a fight this is. Round 4. And Boza Edwards in all sorts of trouble. Cut, been on the floor. Now can he summon up a punch to turn it round yet again? An amazing fight, and he's got him again. And a right hand looks to me as though it might be the finish. He's looking into the face of his men, and he can't even stay on his knees on the floor. His count is 9, and he's up at 9. But he doesn't look to me as though he knows where he is, but we're near the end of the round. Can he survive it? His legs are all over the place. This is now a try for survival and nothing else. Just waiting for the bell to ring. Mickey Duff is screaming at him from the corner. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And he looks around at Mickey, and I don't think Boza Edwards knows really where he is. Some instinct is telling him to move his feet, and there's the bell, and he's got through it. He has survived it. And he went over to Navarrete at the end of that round and tapped him on the arm as though to congratulate him. I honestly don't think he really knows what he's doing. McCanty looks at his face and has walked away. He's going to let it go on by the look of things. And that corner now are working so desperately on Boza Edwards. Down twice in that round, both times from really very good punches. He was taking punches to the head early on. And that right hand of Navarrete has proved to be a real danger punch. They're trying to stop the bleeding, and they're trying to bring him round. And McCanty is over there again, having another close look at him to see if he's fit enough to come out for the 5th. And there must be some doubt whether he is. And he's nodding his head furiously. nodding his head furiously at McCanty to say, I'm all right, and he's coming out for the 5th. Very nearly an ex-champion in the 4th round. Now, if it can get out of this, it will be a miracle.
Go, man, go!
Boza Edwards' shorts, which were white to start with, have now turned scarlet from his own blood. Now, somehow or other, he's got to keep moving those legs, which he wasn't moving them early on at all. And only some sort of instinct for survival made him work his legs at the end of that drastic 4th round. Now he needs to move them again. At all costs now, he must keep out of trouble until he can get back into this fight, if he can. He started a firm favourite to win this, and now it looks like 10-1 against. These two-handed hooking punches from this little southpaw from the Philippines are wreaking terrible havoc, and he's got him again. Right hand. That's the big right hand once again, and I don't think Boza is... Oh, yes, he is. He's stirring. 8. He's not going to make it. He's counted out on his knees. And we have a new champion, Rolando Navarrete, the Hawaiian-based Filipino who can hardly contain himself with joy. He can't believe what's happened. And neither can Boza Edwards or any of his corner. It is the most terrible night for the champion who's made his 2nd defence here. He's with McCanty, and he's saying, I'm all right to McCanty. But he's not all right. He's lost his title, and he's half lost his senses here in Via Reggio tonight. And a new champion has been crowned. And Boza Edwards has lost it in the most dramatic way possible. He never really ever got into the fight. He had a reasonable 2nd and 3rd round, but was never really the governor. And those double-handed hooks of this 24-year-old southpaw Filipino, Rolando Navarrete, have proved to be altogether too good for Boza Edwards, who's never been beaten like that before as a pro. That's only his 3rd defeat. His first defeat early in his career was on cuts. They pulled him out of the fight last year with Alexis Arguello, the non-title fight, because they felt he was taking too much. And tonight he's taken more than too much. He really has. He put his head in the way of everything. And the title went down the drain. Well, a triumphant night for the little man from the Philippines, Navarrete, who proved himself to be a very, very good challenger tonight and will be a good champion. That's his 46th professional fight, his 35th win. And that is most certainly one of the worst setbacks for British boxing in recent years, because now Britain no longer has any world boxing champions, and not so long ago we had 3 of them. The announcement of the Filipinos' triumph can hardly be heard here. And Boza Edwards on his feet. He looks reasonably all right, but he really did take a pummeling there. In those 4th and 5th rounds, it was all too much. Navarrete is declared the winner in the 5th round of a remarkable world title fight here on the shores of the Mediterranean in Via Reggio. A beautiful